I've made a lot of money from dropshipping, but if I had to restart and could only use other money-making methods, then how would I do it? So in this 5-part video series, I'm gonna be testing different side hustles and popular ways of making money, both online and in real life, with the goal of turning this $100 into 10,000 after 5 hustles. Now, obviously, I'm not claiming this to be my video series idea. I think about everyone on YouTube has tried this already, but I more so want to see if realistically after 5 hustles, we can make $10,000. So what will we be trying for our first hustle? Curb repainting. Now, I've actually tried this hustle myself before, even making these super sexy business cards. But basically, all this hustle is repainting old curb numbers like this to be something more vibrant that really pops. I haven't done this in about 3 years, but I think a single curb will take me about 15 to 20 minutes, and I'm gonna be asking $25 per curb. Now, as far as resources for this, we're gonna need number stencils that fit together like puzzle pieces like this right here. Then we're gonna need painter's tape, black and white spray paint, and a wire brush as well. All right, let's go to Home Depot. You want to try to get the thickest tape that you can. This is about the thickest I can find. I would want to go thicker, but they don't have anything else. Got the goods. So with those stencils, that's about 10 bucks more. I'll have it on the screen, the amount deducted. Let's get to painting. So from there, I went home and found an old Home Depot bucket. I emptied it out and put in the resources we'll need for the day, including these old gloves to cover my hands with while I paint. Then from there, it was off to find some curbs. Okay, target acquired. I'm in the perfect balance of neighborhood that has a good amount of money, but they're not gonna get creeped out by a kid walking around with a Home Depot bucket. So off I went, getting no answer from my first house. And for the next hour, I could barely get anyone to even open the door, let alone pay me. So I was starting to rethink this neighborhood. So far, this neighborhood has been too good. There's not really many curbs that I can repaint, but gonna keep looking. If it does look too good, then we'll go to a different neighborhood, but it's also kind of tough because it's a weekday today. So there's a lot of people at work and a lot of people at school. But I soon came to find that my worries were proven right. I guess a kid came through here a couple months ago, so it's probably gonna be best to move over to another neighborhood because like I was saying, I mean, most of these curbs are done and most of the people who don't want it done have already said no. So, I mean, it's unlikely that a couple months later they say yes. Excuse me, ma'am?
Yeah, because it had a nice seascape on it.
Yeah, I could do it all white, but then the numbers would probably only take up like this area.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Come and knock on my door.
Absolutely.
Then and I'll give you some money.
Absolutely.
Being broke is a mindset.
The dopamine is going crazy right now. She said that she was cool if I just make the whole blue area white and then I just have like the numbers in the middle, even though there's gonna be a ton of space right there. But first person. So what followed was me taping all 4 sides of the curb so that there was no overspray, and then I filled it all in with white spray paint. And while I waited for the white to sit for a few minutes, I taped together the number stencils and started spraying them with black. You can see I had some of it drip, so I dipped my tape covered finger in some white paint to go back and erase my mistakes. So after a total of about 20 minutes, I went back to get our client and get our first $25 for the day. So I got the 25, so now our balance is sitting at around 90 bucks. I'm gonna go get food since it is noon and I haven't yet eaten, and after that we gotta go to a new neighborhood. So I got my food and went to a new neighborhood, still getting hardly anyone to open the door, and when they would, they weren't interested. After an hour of this is what I had to say. I feel like I'm coming. So I've driven around a couple neighborhoods now. I think that this hustle may have gotten to the TikTok algorithm because almost all the curbs that I'm seeing have been freshly painted. For example, look at this one. This is the exact same font that I use. They probably have the exact same stencils. Looks like it was newly painted too. Now at this point, I'd been out painting curbs for 3 hours and had only made $25. I was losing hope fast and starting to come to the conclusion that this hustle was just way too popular, at least in my area. So for the 4th time, I moved to a new neighborhood, and little did I know, but my luck was about to turn around.
Yeah.
Hi, how's it going?
Good.
This man said he was interested in my service, so he had me wait by his curb while he looked inside to see if he had any money. Yeah? Absolutely, sounds good. Thank you. So I started working on his curb like I would with any other, but you're about to see why this man was the highlight of the video, with him referring me to his neighbor and giving me a tip. Right?
Oh yeah, that looks nice. Hey Lois, it looks like your number, you can't read it.
Yeah, I see that.
Now you can keep the change.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
That's why he's the GOAT!
Anyway, thank you. Good
Yeah,
luck
of
on
course.
what you're doing. And
So if you want to do mine, go ahead.
go for it.
Okay.
So I just got referred over to this neighbor here, so that's perfect. It's gonna be 50 bucks plus this guy tipped an extra $5. So far we spent our $35 out of that 100 to get our resources, and then right here we have $55 in profit. Not gonna be taxed, take home, go straight into the wall, and we're about to get another $25 at least from this home that I'm about to paint. So once I'm done with this curb, that'll be $55 profit on the day, and then we're gonna be in the green moving forward from here. And remember, I was striking out like crazy on other houses, so if you do this on a weekend or over the summer when tons of people are home, I could see it being way more. And looking back on it while I edit, I realized I would have made way more money if I'd scouted different neighborhoods the day before going out to paint. I'm going around the neighborhood repainting the curb address numbers. I was wondering if you'd want that done since yours is completely faded.
Okay, go for it.
So honestly, so far through trying this, I feel like it's kind of a matter of when you knock and the audience that you have, really. I mean, this house that I came to, really, really big. It's on a cliff. The woman said yes right away. And this is kind of just a theory, but when I would knock on the smaller houses, you know, kind of just in the not as expensive neighborhoods, a lot of the reasons I got for them saying no was that they would do it themselves and save the money. It's all about trying to dial in your audience with this, and also it took forever to paint this curb because the sun had almost fully set, so the paint was taking way longer to dry. So from that $25 that I just got paid, we're now at $105 on the day, which I'm honestly pretty proud about, seeing as we couldn't get anyone to answer the door and there were so many people with their curbs painted already. Now at this point, I'd been out painting curbs for 5 to 6 hours, but it was getting dark and I didn't think it would be smart to keep going. Now I don't really feel comfortable continuing to paint because it's starting to get colder and the paint isn't drying. And since that's the case, it would take us forever to even paint another curb. We'd probably have to wait there for an hour for it to dry before spraying the black on. So with that being said, I think we got a good taste of the side hustle. Let's take it back to my house. It's the next day. I have this wad of money and I'm gonna do some math. $107 is what we made yesterday, and if you deduct $35 for the resources, then our profit comes out to $72. And based on the amount of paint and tape that we used yesterday, I would assume we would only have to buy new resources every week. But that would only be paint and tape, and that comes out to around 20 bucks. So that would be around $20 in expenses, but if we continue making $107 at the minimum for a week, then that's $749 in revenue. Subtract the $20 in expenses, we're profiting $729 bucks per week. And that's a lot of money for someone who just wants to get a taste of money or do their first ever hustle. And I would consider yesterday a crazy, crazy slow day, so I feel like that's 700 bucks you're making per week at the minimum. So what's the final consensus? With where we're at in this hustle, obviously episode 1, I'm glad that we started out with something that anyone can try that kind of gets your hands dirty and is hard work. I could grind this out for a week, make around 700 bucks, and then move on to episode 2 with 800 bucks. But I feel like that's an extremely slow, boring, and mundane grind, and we have enough proof of concept to say that someone could make good money with this. If I were starting from nothing though in real life, I would do this in the day, and then on the days where the weather's too bad to go out and paint, or at nighttime, I would look into dropshipping. And since there would be good money coming in from the curbs, I could pay to get closer to mentors, I could pay for some courses, I could maybe even pay for access for the best dropshipping Discord group. I like this transition though because you take something that can print you money and is somewhat guaranteed, and you move it towards something that's more scalable that can make you thousands of dollars per day. If you made it this far in my first ever video, it means the absolute world to me, so thank you. Comment what hustle you want to see me try in part 2, and if you like this part 1, then like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.